I could hear Busta Rhymes, "Put your hands where my eyes can see," and like remember the smell of the sweaty fucking cigarette smoke. Hi, I'm Mark Ronson, and here's what it's like to be a triple threat. When I was doing my podcast, I would do an insane amount of research, but then once it starts, you've just got to leave it to the way the conversation's gonna roll. With the book, that was like no other process I've ever gone through, because when I'm making records, it's usually somewhat of a collaborative process. I'm working with the artists and working with great songwriters. This was just really me alone in a room. I probably interviewed 150, 200 people from the scene because I wanted to paint that picture of the 90s as vividly as possible. I blocked out all the windows with black tape or curtains because I read Stephen King's On Writing, and he's like, you're in a basement 6 hours a day, like no distractions. I listen to a lot of music, actually. I made a lot of playlists on Spotify because I found that listening to music from whatever year I was writing about became a really important trigger to remember the clubs. Music is still, I wouldn't say it's the most fun, but creating music, ending up in a room with somebody who you love working with or somebody you just met that day and being inspired and running like a snowball coming down a hill with ideas and inspiration. You went with nothing and you're leaving with something. Yes, they absolutely do. I mean, the reason that I started this book was because I thought in my head I want to make an album, and I wanted to reimagine some of my favorite songs from the 90s, like Aaliyah's One in a Million. So I started to think, what if I write a book about that era, and then it gives context to this music and why I'm doing it, and I can talk about my friendship with Aaliyah and how I knew her, and then these things will go together. And then I wrote the book but didn't make the record. But I made so much music while I was writing because I was constantly inspired. I have a relentless inner critic. There's 30,000 songs come out every week. If you're not making something that feels strong or important, what's the point? And so I would have a sentence and be like, this sucks. This paragraph can be better. This paragraph can be better. Who cares? Sentence 3, I've just lost 7 people's attention, you know, like imagining people reading it. I think that runs through my creative process no matter what. With me, it's happened organically over the course of 20-year career in music at this point. But I think if you truly love those things and you know you can do a great job at it, like, why not? Because they do all feed into each other. So it's not a case of like, oh, I should be diversifying, I should be doing a bit of this, a bit of that. But if you're like, man, I'd love to do this podcast, or write a book, or just making music, I'd say go for it.